Welcome class 9 to the study of landforms of the earth. The systematic study of the earth's relief features is called geomorphology, but it can also be called a study of landforms. So for the sake of convenience, the landforms have been divided into three orders of relief: mountains, plateaus and plains. So coming to mountains, the characteristic features of mountains, we are going to read: a portion of land surface rising considerably above the surrounding country either as a single eminence or in a range of chain is known as a mountain. Some occur as a single isolated masses. The volcanic cone, for example, Kilimanjaro, stands almost 5,895 meters above the sea level, overlooking the grasslands of East Africa. Others make up a portion of an extensive mountain chain such as the American Cordilleras. Then some chains like the Himalayas, they are youthful, gigantic mountains which are still rising, while others are very old, nearly worn down, as for example you can see the Appalachian Mountains of USA and the Aravallis in India. Example from India are very important, like the Aravallis in India. We can see, for example, you can see the young fold mountains like the Matterhorn in Swiss Alps. They have rugged high peaks, steep slopes, whereas you can see the difference. The old fold mountain, the Aravallis in India, they are less rugged and the slopes are also rounded, worn down, less rugged. So the name given to the group of processes which collectively produce a mountain system is known as orogenesis. This has been derived from the Greek word oros for mountain and genesis for to come into being. Coming to the mountain building, orogeny or orogenesis. And orogeny is a period of mountain building, while orogenesis is the process of mountain building which leads to the formation of intensely deformed belts which constitute the mountain ranges. Now coming to the type of mountains. Mountains are often classified according to their mode of formation, that is fold mountains, block mountains, residual mountains and volcanic mountains. Now coming to the fold mountains. First and foremost examples are the Himalayas in India, the Himalayan mountain chain. High mountain chains such as the Himalayas, Andes, Alps, Rockies, they are known as the new fold mountain system. The term fold is actually a reference to the way in which such mountains have been formed. See, throughout millions of years, slow movement of the earth's crust have caused these mountains to be raised. The movements which have resulted in mountain building, they were horizontal movements, and the effect of which was to cause the crust of the earth to wrinkle. See, for example, when a tablecloth is pushed from both the sides, wrinkles are created. Similarly, the arched or the upraised part of the folds known as the anticlines and the trough, these are known as the synclines, and these folds can vary gradually in size. Now children, coming to the fold mountains, the older fold mountains, you can see the older fold mountains which have been subjected to the forces of denudation, for example weather, rivers, glaciers, for long geological periods. They are much lower, they are less rugged. See, they are more rugged, less rugged and less rugged than the newer fold mountains. Whereas the newer fold mountains, you can see they are having a more steep slopes, more rugged, whereas they are worn down. For example, the Aravallis in India, best example in India. Now the young fold mountains are also associated with volcanoes. Most of the active volcanoes are found in the neighborhood of fold mountains, whereas where the crust of the earth has been fractured. This is the reason why active volcanoes are found in the neighborhood of fold mountains, because the crust of the earth has been fractured during the process of folding. This is important. And if you look at the world map, then all around the Pacific, we can find here, all around the Pacific Ocean, there are many active and extinct volcanoes. For example, in New Zealand, then in the East Indies, Japan, North and Central South America, North, Central, South America, we have throughout active volcanoes as well as extinct volcanoes we find all around. Another belt of active volcanoes is associated with the fold mountain of West Indies. Fold mountains found here. Here also we find a belt of active volcanoes. So the mountain of the young fold type are characterized by their ruggedness of relief in contrast to the smooth and the round contours of the mountain areas which have been subjected to weathering agents for long period of time. The Alps, the Scottish Highlands. So the difference between the two is spectacular. Coming to the block mountains. Now see, this is what the volcanic mountains look like. Coming to the block mountains, you can see the figure, see the picture of a block mountains. Actually, sometimes it happens that the movement of the earth's crust causes cracks or faults. Cracks or faults are created, where such movement leave a block of higher land standing between two areas of lower land. So, higher land standing in between areas of lower land. The highland is known as a block mountain or a horse, whereas this lower land is known as a graben. It is known as a graben or a valley, which is created in between. So you can see the figure. I've already sent it across to be drawn by you. This is what the formation of block mountains look like, and the Vosges and the Black Forests in France and in Germany are like. The Vosges and the Black Forest mountains are the example of such block mountains. The mountains are usually very steep-sided, often the summit levels are roughly the same. Coming to residual mountains. See what the residual mountains look like. See the picture. Helvellyn Residual Mountains in Lake District of England. When an area of highland remains standing above the general level after rivers and other natural agents have lowered the surface of the surrounding area, the term residual mountains is used. Sometimes these highlands are also called mountains of denudation. See, for example, the uniformity in height of the ridges. You can see the ridges. These are the ridges. Uniformity in the height of the ridges. In the background of Helvellyn, we can see. Coming to the importance or the significance of mountains. Mountains, of course, they are effective climatic barriers. Climate of regions on either side of high mountain are very different. Example, coast land of British Columbia have an equable climate, heavy rainfall, whereas land to the east of the Rockies have an extreme type of climate and light rainfall. Then there are so many rivers, which swift streams and rivers flowing across the mountains, which are the source of hydroelectric power, especially in countries which have no coal like Switzerland and Norway. They are very important. In North America, Western Cordilleras provide gold, copper, silver, lead, especially in the states of, so you can see here in the Western Cordilleras, they can provide all sort of these valuable minerals. And the Andes provide tin, copper, Bolivia, gold, platinum in Colombia, and silver in Peru. Then we have the highlands of East Africa, Australia. They are important for copper and gold here. Then the lumbering industry. Lumbering industry is especially very important in British Columbia, in Washington, and in Oregon for the softwood. Central American mountainous land are famous for the hardwood, and the Himalayan slopes in India for the teak and salwood. Scandinavian mountain for the softwood again. Now, there are numerous irrigation schemes in operation in most of the mountain states of USA. Then mountain pastures have been utilized most extensively for cattle rearing as in Switzerland and Scandinavia. Then high mountain ranges are also barriers to communication. Why? Because they tend to separate people. Traffic across mountain is limited to the passes which are often so high as to be snowbound during the winter season. Such ranges as the Alps or Andes etc. can only be crossed with great difficulty by constructing tunnels. So children, this much today for mountains. In my next video I'll be dealing with plateaus and plains.